Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is Charles. Report is for March the 2nd. What an exciting start to the week. And down significantly, 110. It's not catastrophic, but from a daily standpoint, we're going to reach the 0% from this MBI white spike that took place. Well, that was at the beginning of February. So it took a month for it to finally work its way through with some back and forth. And frankly, we've just had some very modest to weak readings. Even this magenta rising above, barely over the 25, never even got to the 33. So it was all pretty soft going through there. You had a brief moment of DOC right here where green crossed above, and that was the bull case within it, even though we were still in a negative shakeout. But you can see we almost got positive extreme on that single move, and just there was nothing exciting about any of this. And during my hiatus, and that you know, if you weren't looking at intraday, you were getting slaughtered back and forth, and that's just been the case since. Well, we mentioned that that would happen. We'd have great volatility, but without the ability to see inside of it. This has all been sideways action since November of last year. Um, and that's just because there's no catalyst driving anything. And for the most part, a lot of it was, inflation and everything. But Trump administration unable to get oil prices in a controlled range for a sustained period. It was a brief time where things were easing, but that started fading rather quickly, and we'll see it in the charts as we look forward. But you can see, clear magenta under yellow. Now, we haven't reached the 0%, so there's still room to the downside from that viewpoint. From an NQ standpoint, though, what you start to see is almost a similar reading now between S&P and Nasdaq. Even if price range relative is different, we're still in the same zone now from a Morganachi standpoint, and the behavior is identical. But you can see much stronger short reading from the NQ during that same bullish move within the S&P. It was still rather negative. MBI white leading, even though magenta was above it over the 50%, it was just an immediate reversal of it, and you still never got back to a plus on the shakeout. And that's the whole point of the shakeout. It's like, you got a slow rise here, but as long as you're in that deep red, very difficult to get a turnaround. Now below the 23%, without a close above it, still completely short setup. So there's oil spike for now in the pre-market there. Quite a move. It's not going to be a short situation from what the Iranians are describing on. It's irrelevant what you think of the situation and whether it should have happened, this, that, or the other. You have to trade what is, and what is a disruption of a significant proportion with an unlimited time duration, and that kind of uncertainty really causes a lot of disruption. More so that people are just trying to find gain, and particularly fear always wins out in these kind of setups. And so it's just a matter of looking for the contrary and point where things start to flip, where people get too negative, unrelated to. The potentials. But in this particular case, you get the Strait of Hormuz closed. You're getting a lot of third-party incidents. Cyprus being attacked, a lot of the other Mideast states, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, all of them suffering reprisals from Iran, though they claim that it's attacking U.S. bases, and that doesn't matter. It still sparks fears, can create travel issues, things like that, and those ripple effects seen everywhere is definitely going to have economic impacts. Euro, of course, everyone's the ironic part of it is you run to the dollar for safety. Though the whole move of the euro, as I've been talking about for quite some time, is rather suspect given how bad the eurozone is relative to U.S. growth. And now that there's going to be this appearance of U.S. Sliding with tariffs and everything. Now that the Supreme Court's ruled and everything, um, yeah, it's all going to go negative for the euro because you're not going to see rate cuts um, given the higher inflation. I mean, with oil doing what it's doing, um, you're already looking at the spike in inflationary numbers. So what's the Fed going to do with that? You're not going to be easing into that situation. From a gold standpoint, of course, we expected gold to return back to the highs. Slow. I mean, this isn't all that dramatic, but coming off of the whole dip, which is interesting. Getting into March, we're going to be right back up at the peaks in time for contract execution, but they've already done all their damage to everybody. When Bitcoin still, again, you're below the 23% until you get a close above it. No, not going anywhere. You had the NBI white spike, so still would expect a move that should touch that zero. If it doesn't, that would be rather surprising, and that would create a huge upside potential move. Not seeing it at this particular stage. So, from the 50K standpoint, things were looking good into Friday, but then right before the futures ended, we had a cave out. So, there were some people who knew at the end of Friday that this was happening as we dipped below 25 with magenta net. Definitely cleared into the sell, and you can also see at the DOC cyan and green separating to the negative side, and so the open coming down lower here. You had some nice volatility spikes back, but no close above 23% from that move, and it just cascaded lower. We can actually increase the size of that so you get a better view of it right there. So there was some good volatility within that. You had your immediate down open, and then it spiked up from there. We look at a 5K tick instead of a 5 minute. You can see we were in negative the whole part of the end of trading uh, right before futures open. So this was all from Friday's action. Was already trying to fill back. So they got call buyers excited about the potential of things, and there was plenty of selling going into that. There's always that advanced know-how, and then sure enough, that was the pump. Came to the 50% on that move, and then boom, it's just been straight sell in the European session so far. This morning, no changes whatsoever on that, and yeah, exciting. So beginning the new month. Making some adjustments to all the indicators in that, which has been a fun little process the last couple of weeks, but it's going to continue. Some major changes to how things look. As always, know anything relevant, I will put it on our team chat. Have a good one. Trade well.